whilst we are all still in shock from the terrible tragedy of what took place in Israel on Lag Baomer, I just wanted to add a thought, a comment. As thinking people, as thinking Jews, we have to see beyond the superficial and perhaps the sensationalism that the media always likes to portray. The depth of this tragedy, of course, is beyond anything that we can really comprehend. But I'd like to share with you the following two thoughts. First of all, the timing. Lag Baomer is a time when the plague, which killed the 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva, stopped. And the coincidence is remarkable. Israel was just beginning to recover from a plague that had killed over 6,000 of our brothers and sisters. And that's when this tragedy took place. And maybe there's a thought in it for us, if you think about it. Not that long ago, in Israel, 40 people a day were dying from COVID. And we didn't see the emotional outpouring, even though for those 40 people that were dying every day, for their families, that was an absolute tragedy. And when we think about the value of human life, and when we measure a tragedy, we often do it in subjective terms. This one was worse. Why? Because it was sudden. It wasn't something that we were expecting. Whereas when once we got used to COVID, we kind of got disaster fatigue. And we turn on our smartphones, the internet, whatever it is, and we see, well, how many died today? And it's not a shock. People get ill, and even if they're young, of course it's a tragedy, but they go into hospital, they deteriorate, and then people pass away. This was sudden. It was a massive shock. And maybe we need to sensitize ourselves again to the value of a single life. Any tragedy, any death is terrible. But one person is a world for their family. And this sudden, tragic shock needs perhaps to remind us the value of every single person.